everyone in this room to raise a hand if they have recently felt that childlike joy. I felt it right now. It's true. All right, awesome. Now, I want everyone to raise a hand if they have ever felt lost or confused about their purpose in life. Oh yeah, me too. Yep. Well, I believe these two things are very interconnected, and you can't have one without the other. And I believe if we intentionally live towards our joy, we will live a more fulfilled life. And I believe when we bridge the gap between these two things, we realize that it's easier to tune into our intuition and our truest self than we thought it was. So today I'm going to be telling you about my story and my journey with this. And it's been a roller coaster of emotions, as life is, but I believe it's a really important story to share what people are going through, because it makes you realize that you're not the only one. Everyone else is going through it too. So, growing up as a child, I was extremely imaginative and creative, and I believed that fairies were real. Fairies are awesome! And I would create fairy houses in my backyard, and I believed wholeheartedly that for every house I created, a fairy would stay in it at night. And I would even wish for wings, and I'd fall asleep with my face down in the pillow so my back would have my wings grow out. And I would create stories of adventure, and I would write them and create novels, and I would write in my journal of adventures and imaginative, creative stories. And I would tell them to my friends, my family, and even my neighbors. And at this point in my life, I didn't know, but I was accessing my inner light and my joy more than I ever have before. And I would spend the rest of my life tuning back into that and trying to feel that again. So I'm sure some of you can think of a moment where you have felt intense joy. Think about that memory. Now, fast forward, and I am in junior high, and I'm 14, and I am anxious, I am filled with self-doubt, and I barely breathe so not to draw attention to myself. And that day in class, in English class, a man with an Indiana Jones-looking outfit and dirty boots walks in. And he is the career mentor. And judging on my past experience with career mentors, I'm ready to feel lost and confused. What career box am I going to be imagining myself fitting into this time? And the man starts to talk about his career. And he starts to talk about traveling around the world and seeing different cultures, meeting different people, connecting with people from all around the world, telling stories, and that not one day is different than the next. His job was in freelance journalism. And when I hear this, my ears perk up. What is this job? I've never heard of anything like this. And in that moment, I'm reminded, again, the feeling that I got as a child from storytelling, imagination, and adventure. I'm sure some of you can think about a moment where an inspiration or a mentor allowed you to imagine what your life could look like and allowed you to dream bigger dreams. This was that moment for me. Now, fast forward, and I'm in college. And I've completely forgotten all about this. And I am succumbing to outside pressures of fitting in. And I listened to outside influences that told me a health career and a science major was the safest route for me. And I'm taking classes that I have no passion in and feel empty and lost. And this is why, my friends, my path started to look so grim. I started to drown out my intuition and my inner voice, my childlike joy, with drugs, alcohol, a toxic environment, and I started to forget who I was. And a funny thing happens when you go down the wrong path. Like we were saying before, if you do something, it continues to happen. So I was going down a downward spiral, and like a domino effect, negative things kept happening in my life. Bad luck was everywhere, and the universe kept shutting doors, closing doors. Everything was bad. And I didn't realize, but the universe was telling me that this wasn't the right path and to turn around. But I didn't know how to. And I knew it wasn't the right path, but I felt stuck. I didn't know how to get out of it. Until the last straw. The day a under the influence driver hit my car going 80 miles per hour on a bridge, my life flashed before my eyes. And surviving this moment, I realized that at any moment, the book of my life would close, and that would be my story. And realizing this, I realized that every precious moment, I was creating my reality. And I needed to wake up. And I needed to start listening to my inner voice once again. Now I'm telling you this story because you don't have to go through a near-death experience or something traumatic like this for you to wake up and realize this. You can start implementing, intentionally living towards joy every day, starting today. Now, I'm going to bring you through a meditation so we can tune into this feeling. So if you all can close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. And an exhale. Now, I want you to tune into a part inside of you that has been locked away. That part that feels all emotions, all joy, before any traumatizing events or influences were placed on you. Your truest and purest self. Now, I want you to imagine a time in your life where you felt intense joy. It could be when you were a child, or it could be recently. What is the feeling where you felt intense joy? Imagine, who are you surrounded by? How do you feel? What do you see? When we imagine this, we can start to feel a warm feeling, a feeling of groundedness, a feeling of connecting to your truest self, a feeling of connecting to the universe or something bigger than yourself. This is that feeling that I want you to go back towards. This is that feeling that I want you to remember if you're feeling lost or confused with this crazy world, I want you to remember that. Now you can open your eyes. Now, when I realized this feeling, I changed my major. I started studying things that I felt intense joy with. I moved to Hawaii and surrounded myself with inspiring people. And I started listening to my inner voice. Now, it can be very hard sometimes to remember this. And at times, we succumb to ego, outside influences, and we'll let chance rule our lives. So we have to constantly work to return back to that joy. A great way to do this can be introducing something day to day in your life. It can be something like wearing colorful clothes more to spice up your day. Or it can be something as drastic as changing your environment, changing your mindset, your job, and surrounding yourself with more joy. Now, something that I have fallen to is chasing a goal for joy. And this is something you can't do, because a goal does not achieve joy. And if you're chasing a goal and you forget joy, you're missing the whole point of it. Because you're doing everything in your life to find that joy. Now, another way to tune back in is using affirmations, mantras. You can picture an image or have an action or a routine that you do daily to remind yourself to come back to this. That's why meditation for me is what I do. And you can remember that again, that happy place. So, living intentionally towards your joy is the key to a fulfilling life. And living your truth, you too can create your own reality. Thank you.